Hey everybody, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel's Finding Value. If you guys like making money, if you like reading, watching anything with commodities and undervalued assets, this is the channel for you. Subscribe. Put comments below on what you guys want to know. If there's anything or you have any questions, let me know. Leave them in the comment section. Give me a thumbs up for this video. So I'm going to talk about copper. We had a massive move in copper. We talk a lot about copper on this channel, but I don't really go over a lot of the copper picks. I mean, I go over some, but not a ton. So I'm going to go over a little bit more on the copper picks, and I see some of these copper picks breaking out of their chart patterns. Some of them are pretty large chart patterns. So I'm going to show you what those copper companies are so you guys can make decisions on your portfolio. So first I want to go over an article. It's an article on Goldman. It says, Goldman warns of historic shortage of copper as it explodes higher. It says the endless flood of both central bank and fiscal stimulus means that hundreds of billions of liquidity to the tune of approximately 0.7% of global GDP every single month. So they go over that. Now, if we go down here, they talk about copper. It says it's with nickel at its highest since 2014 and copper eyeing a record stretch of monthly advances as it creeps closer to $10,000 a ton. Look at this guy going. It is moving very quickly to the upside. Now I want to read some of these large prints here. The market now is on the cusp of the tightest phase in what we expect to be the largest deficit in a decade. So it says as Chinese buying triggers the next leg higher, adding to expectations that prices will near a record sooner rather than later. It says China's return from the LNY holiday has heralded a burst of onshore investor copper buying after the holiday season with limited inventory builds evident so far. The market is now on the cusp of the tightest phase in which we expect to be the largest deficit in a decade. To reflect this rising probability of scarcity, pricing our new 3, 6, 12-month copper targets increase to $9,200, $9,800, and $10,500 a ton from a little bit lower estimates. We consider below the key bullish increment for copper supporting the revision higher to, target prices. Chinese investors have refocused on copper. So we go down here. This is the supply-demand balance. And if you watch some of my videos about commodity investing, this is one of the major things that you want to look at as an investor is the supply-demand balance of a commodity. It says copper supply will fall short of demand most years, Citigroup Incorporated says. Large deficit in 2021. That's what this black deficit is, and it's 600,000 tons, a little bit less than that. Then we've got 2022 as in deficit, a small surplus, and I don't know why the surplus. Maybe some mines are coming online, and then a small deficit 2024, and an increasing deficit going into 2025. And if you look in some of my other clips, you can see some massive deficits out in the future, and they continue to grow in some of those years past 2025. So copper is definitely a spot to be, I think. So let's see how we can play this. I mean, it's great that we know about all this information of how copper is the best investment. So I want to show you what's going on in the copper market, and then I'm going to show you some companies that you guys can do further research on. So this is the copper price. I'll jump in here. And what I see is a breakout. I see this guy coming up. We were coming up through here, and then we punched through on a large almost 4.5% up day right here. So we broke to the upside of this major uptrend. So what are some companies that we could look into for copper? So I've got Nova Royalty. I'm a big shareholder here. I don't really talk about it much because I'm waiting for this to come back down. It's been muted sideways in this sideways channel. I bought all in here. I was loading up. I was hoping to buy a lot more, but this thing took off before I could buy any more. And since we've got these two big bearish engulfings here, I'm hoping this was going to pull back. You can see we've got a big down day and a small up days all through here. I still think this thing wants to do one last pullback. The problem is copper's taken off. So it's like it's stuck in this sideways channel because it's a copper and nickel royalty. They are related to metallo royalty. And they're gathering royalties out in the market, typically on very large projects. And if copper and nickel are going up, and this thing naturally wants to pull back because it had such a massive run up, I've been waiting for this thing to pull back more so I could maybe add a little bit more in. So I like Nova Royalty. I like royalty companies in general. I think this is a great one to put some money into. Whenever the heck it pulls back, I don't know, maybe I'll cost average in a little bit. We'll see. Southern Copper is another one that I own quite a bit in. This thing tracks the price of copper extremely well, and it's not extremely volatile. So this one's a really easy one to hang on to. It pays a good dividend. It is a major corporation. It does have some other production, but this is a great one, I think, to be sitting in if you've got lots of money to invest in copper. I put a lot in this. I wanted the dividend, and I think it's a great company for a diversified mining company. Now here's some smaller companies coming up. Trilogy Metals, this one, it broke out of this little congestion area right here. There's a large shoulder back here that it broke, and we're moving on up to the upside. Big update, small pullback, that's probably gonna head on higher. Nice big volume stepping in. So TMQ's one. TGB, this one's breaking this is a massive downtrend that it broke. We are moving, it broke this near-term downtrend as well, or uptrend, I should say, resistance line, and here we are moving up. So TGB is another one to look into. A lot of people on the channel like Copper Mountain Mining. That just broke out of this little congestion area right here to the upside. You might see a pullback, or maybe not. I mean, copper's on a tear. So big volume, someone's buying this in mass. Oroco Resources, Orco, this one looks like it's coming back in pullback mode, still underneath its breakout point here. And yeah, we are buying kind of more towards highs, but that's where copper's at. So this one is one of the favorites, I think, for an exploration to developer company. So that's Oroco Resource Corp. Next is Turquoise Hill Resources. This one looks really good. Massive downtrend break. This is a big boy downtrend. I'm looking at it from a weekly candlestick basis, all the way back to 2011, pulling on down, and we broke this big downtrend. So this one might be okay to look into, TRQ for a pickup. And then we got ERRPF, Euro Copper Corp. It's just breaking out of its massive pattern. Shoulder, head. It looks like we got a little shoulder over here, and it's coming up. So this could move quite a bit as well. That's ERRPF. So those are some companies. I'll add some to the hypothetical portfolio. I don't think I did that when I taped it last time, but these look pretty good. If you like copper, I like copper quite a bit. It's a renewable energy metal, and with the deficits coming out in the future, I think all of these warrant a look for possibly a position, at least in my portfolio. So hopefully you guys like this content. Give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already subscribed. And thank you for listening. This is Finding Value.